Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and today I wanted to do a live stream. Usually we have these live streams during the weekend, but I have a guest that I want to introduce you to, and we're going to discuss pretty much what he has experienced as a reseller on eBay. His name is Esteban. He is from deathpiledestroyers.com. Some of you may watch the liquidation motivation videos. He's the Esteban that is on that channel. So I want to go ahead and introduce him. Before I do though, guys, do me a favor. Please put your questions that you have in on the live stream chat. And of course, comment down below if you're watching this on the replay. Certainly you can support the channel with the super stickers and the super chat. I certainly appreciate that. We're reinvesting all that stuff back into the channel and the quality of the channel. But with that said, I want to bring in Esteban. He's from deathpiledestroyers.com. How you doing, Esteban?
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
How are you doing today? You guys busy?
Today, yeah, definitely. Yeah. As you can see back here, we're handling ceramics and collectibles and like glassware. This week we're going to handle that and tackle that, and then next week probably electronics. We'll see what happens.
So tell me about deathpiledestroyers.com. Exactly what do you do? It's your own dedicated website, but what do you actually do?
Sure. Or Death Pile Destroyers, we help other eBay sellers list their items on eBay and other platforms, but mostly eBay. And what we do is we hire photographers and for you, and we have our VAs list the items for you.
Okay.
We are located in Lakeland, Florida. We're inside Resale America, the store. And Resale America is located inside of the Lakeland Square Mall. And Resale America is run by a gentleman named Tom Schultz. And he is also the owner of Liquidation Motivation, the YouTube channel. He asked me to help his team get his eBay store above average, or sorry, out of the below standard right now that he's in. So he's in the red and he wants to get out of that. And so I wanted to help him out. And the reason why he was in that situation was because he had other managers that had left, and he had nobody to take the reins and step up and handle his store. Okay. So I volunteered to help, and that's why you see all this stuff back here that we need to list.
So we got a lot. Is that his merchandise, or is that your merchandise that you're selling?
That's definitely his merchandise. So what Resale America is he calls it the largest liquidation store in America, and it's pretty big. Yeah. This is a former Macy's that was converted into this liquidation store, and so he'll buy truckloads, load up the store for either this store, for 2 bin stores, or for the online stores. So for eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, if he chooses to do it on other platforms. He's also got a Wish account here. He had Amazon at one point, but he no longer has that. But I'm in charge of just eBay for now. And then we're more than likely going to implement Mercari and Poshmark for the clothing and some other high-end items.
Okay, so if you get any sort of counterfeit items in your liquidation lots, you just throw them on Wish? Is that what you do? Sorry. I just, my experience with Wish is there's a lot of that going on, and there's really no regulation. So, okay, awesome. And so real quick, though, I promise you we're not trying to hide Esteban's identity. I think he's having some internet issues. I don't know if you see that or not.
What, am I?
Yeah, it's kind of blurry, but no big deal. I just wanted to let you guys know we're not trying to hide his identity or anything like that.
I don't see it in my hand. My hand is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
If there's anything I can do, let me know.
No, it's fine. Your audio is fine, and it's fine. a lot of our listeners or the people who watch the channel, they're working right now while they're listing or shipping, so they can hear you. I can hear you just fine. So just wanted I don't know if are you on wireless or are you on hardwired?
I'm hardwired.
Okay.
And everything. Yeah, I got the Wi-Fi. The webcam, and I have an external microphone as well, USB mic.
Okay, so Biscuit Butt's saying it's blurry, but it's okay. It's actually a little bit better than it was when we first started, because when we first started, I couldn't even really see you, but I could see you now. It's actually good. It's kind of going in and out. So
just trust me, guys. I'm handsome.
See, I won't be the judge of that. But, so I was you're kind enough to invite me on your channel a few days back, and we had a good discussion about what you sell primarily, which is clothing, right? You sell clothing?
Right, and on my personal store, we have a store called Esticam. My wife and I's name together, and we sell primarily used clothing. We plan to pull away from it, but right now we get so much of it, we're just gonna list it for now. See what happens.
Yeah. So I mean, have you had success with clothing lately, or?
I just wish I had more money coming through. It's just that it's slow sellers. That's the only thing.
Right.
I can't say that it's not working, because it is. It's selling. It's just very slow.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you're wearing some NBA merchandise, right? And
That's
so
right.
before we got some Celtics gear going on there. So before we came on the live stream, we were talking about fan apparel.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about fan apparel because I don't see it talked about very much. And for someone who has VAs, it's very hard, especially if they're overseas. It's very hard to train VAs on fan apparel. Now, let me give you a small example. Yesterday, as you know, we have golf club covers that we have listed for Tom. We should go into that later on today in regards to your strategy, and I want to go over that. But we have those golf club covers listed, and I trained our VAs to list according to fan. I want these to go under fan apparel, and these are all college teams on the golf club covers. Yet they listed it under fan apparel golf.
Do you have any to show? Do you have any right next to you to show?
Of course not. Of
course
not.
I know you had.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's right under my desk. Yes, I do. This is a golf club cover. It looks like a giant sock.
Yes. It's like for a driver, right?
Yeah, this one is for the driver.
Okay. So you guys, if you watch my videos, you know I'm a golfer, right? I enjoy golf. So.
Yeah.
What university is that one?
It says Mark Matthews. It looks like maybe a NASCAR.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you also have other ones that are not just universities and schools. You have pretty much different sports as well, like NASCAR and stuff like that.
That's correct.
Okay.
So they put this on the fan apparel _ golf instead of NCAA, or in this case NASCAR. And so it was hard for me to explain this to them, that it goes under the fan apparel, but it goes into the team name, rather than the item. Now I gave them this long email saying, let me confuse you some more. There is such thing as a New England Patriots baseball jersey. And I showed them a picture of it. And I showed them that although this particular item is a baseball jersey, it still goes under the fan apparel category under the New England Patriots.
Right.
And then you choose the item that says shirt or jersey.
Okay.
So they didn't understand that concept at first, and then I had to train them on that. But this goes back further, where I wanted, because I knew this was going to happen, I decided to train the VAs and letting them know, hey, if this is a hoodie, New England Patriots hoodie,
right?
I would like you to list this under New England. Sorry, I would like you to list this under hoodie, not the team name.
Oh, okay.
If the client wants to use a second category and put this under fan apparel, then that's okay. Leave that on them.
That second category is going to cost you a little bit more to add.
That's what's going on now. And there's no really true guarantee that second category is worth it. You know,
I don't think it is. Honestly, I don't think it is, because see, I don't think people shop that way. I don't think people go in and start clicking through categories and then finally getting to whatever item they're looking for. I think they go into search and type in New England Patriots hoodie, and if it's, regardless of where it's listed, it should pop up. Yeah. Now, it may be on page 3 and 4, depending on your account and depending on, your promoted listing percentage and all that stuff. But if they're patient and they scroll through, they'll find it.
Yeah, it's true. You and I, we discussed prior to the podcast that we should open up a second window to see what they're currently listed as, and we can train them that way instead of giving them just a hardcore answer, like a static answer. So it's a good idea for them to go out of their way to do more extra research on how these are currently being listed and list them that way. So this way the customer can easily find them.
Right. And part of that is, you resell or you list on InkFrog. I used to list on InkFrog. I now go in through eBay, find the sell similar. I find an item that I've seen sold. I like the way the listing's set up. I'll hit sell similar, and I'll piggyback off of that. Now, what we were talking about is there's many times that I get through about halfway through the listing process and I'll go, what did they have this priced at? And, so I try to make it a habit to keep, I'll do 2 searches in 2 different tabs on my browser for solds. So I have that one tab that shows all the solds. And of course, I'm already working this sell similar on this tab. So I can go back and maybe I want to see what some of the other ones sold for to try to get an average. Because see, one strategy I used to use, and I'm thinking it's probably not as effective as I thought it was, is to find, let's say I have an open box item. I'm looking for items in that condition, and I'll list it at the highest sold price for open box item, and I'll kind of come down from that. And I'm thinking now I want to look at all those different prices, maybe have 10 items that sold in that condition, and maybe try to find a happy medium. Maybe also look and see what my current competition is, because that price still may be too high if other people are pricing it lower than that. So you can't just, and I know a lot of VAs, at least that I've dealt with, they kind of just write it in. They're not doing that extra research that you'd hope they do. They're just doing it. I found many mistakes, and maybe it's because I found the wrong VA, but it left a lot to be desired, which is, one reason why I really don't use the VAs as much as I was, and I would only use them right now to maybe cross list and that kind of thing.
That's a good use of a VA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I address one of the comments here? Is that okay?
Which one?
Ed, the reselling writer, he says that's the reason I don't want to hire a VA. So many potential for error, but I know can be a huge help. And yeah, you're right. Ed, I think that VAs do make a lot of mistakes, but us as an eBay seller, we have to decide whether or not it's best use of our time to train and hire a VA. Is it worth it for us? Is it not? I do like John's use of a VA. You create the listing, and then you take that listing and it has a VA cross-listed. That's okay. But if we have so many items, there's no way that we can do it all ourselves. Here in at Resale America, there's no way. I know in my particular store, we have way too many items as well, and there's no way we can do it all ourselves. So we do have to lean on other people to help us level up. But while we level up, we're helping other people level up as well. If we should always put on the hat of a manager and training other people. If we get to that level where we need the help, we need to put on that hat. We need to learn how to train people. We can't be we can't be upset with mistakes that happen. We just correct them along the way. Now, if they continue to do that, that's a different story. But they will make mistakes, and we should understand that that any person that you train will make mistakes because it's not you. And honestly, I make mistakes. I just before I signed on, did I not make a mistake? I listed 2 bottles. I created 2 listings, and there should have been only 1 listing, and I messed up. And one of the eBay personnel here, they addressed it to my attention, and I had to correct it. So we're not all perfect, and we all help each other out. So, and that's how we should continue, is helping each other out. And that's the reason why we're on this channel here, right? To help each other out.
The great thing about this channel is, share our, successes and our mistakes, because, some other YouTuber said, well, flipping, it's not hard, but it's certainly not easy. And I agree with that. It's not a rocket science. You simply fall into routine, and sometimes it's not that simple. Sometimes you fall into that routine and you list that item twice, like you did, and I've done. Sometimes, like yesterday, I realized I had 2 different Epson ink cartridges. They looked exactly the same. These are sealed little, I guess what you call inkjet cartridges, and they are blue and bright pink on the front. And I guess I had 2 different models, and I realized that I shipped out the wrong one over a month ago, and that left the wrong one on there. The one that already sold is in the bin, and the one that was up for sale was already shipped out. And we're talking over a month ago. The guys have reached out saying, hey, you sent me the wrong one. So, it didn't give me a chance to catch it. Sold it last night and had to cancel the sale. Well, I reached out to the customer. We worked it out before, of course, you cancel the sale. That way you don't get a ding. Yeah. But, it's mistakes. You make mistakes. I mean, you're dealing in volume. And, even if you are so successful where 99% of the time you're going to be mistake free, you're still going to deal with 1 out of every 100 items in your store where you're making a mistake. Yeah. And, we learn from each other. So, hey, I'm not ashamed to mention whenever I make a mistake either. Going back to the VA, Ed says, I don't have a VA, but I do use a list. I use List Perfectly. It's hard to do ourselves, but I'm blessed to have a full-time job where I can also list while doing my full-time. Well, that's pretty awesome that your boss allows you to kind of list. Or maybe it's like my last job where if you bid on the right shift, it's so slow, you have the downtime. You can just do whatever you want to do. That was kind of cool too.
That's how I started here. I worked the night shift at a hotel, and all I did was wait until after midnight to run our reports. And I was just sitting there doing nothing for 4 hours. And that's the time where I just grabbed all my pictures that I had uploaded and started listing. And so I had that opportunity to do it. So there's some jobs that allow you to do that.
Yeah, and back in the day, this is before I was in management. Back in the day, I had plenty of time to read books and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Working the 6 p.m. to 2:30 in the morning shift in a specialty department in a call center, I can tell you it's not all that busy, especially late at night. If I had the technology that we have today, I certainly, because I was a part-time reseller back then, I certainly would have used it a little bit differently. Yeah. So we have 20 people right now watching. Maybe people are winding their day down and they're just maybe weekday isn't always the best time for a live stream. I think last time we had like 30 or 40 people. Hopefully more people pop up. But thankful for those who are here. And we'll kind of review what we have so far. Hey man, love the channel. Got a question. Struggle listing my items. Always buy entire lots of vintage stuff. But I struggle to list. Please help. Advice to motivate me, please. Well, the number one, I don't know about you, Esteban, but for me, the number one motivating tool is looking at my checking account and knowing that my bills aren't going away. And if I see that number going the wrong way, it fires me up and it makes me work harder. And ultimately, that's what we do it. I don't think there's if eBay didn't pay you, if eBay just said, "Hey, come on and list your items," and you're gonna have to ship them out, but we're not gonna pay you, there wouldn't be many, if at all, people on this platform. So we do it to make money. Everyone has to be motivated, but you look at your 9-to-5 job. If you're not doing this as a full-time income, that might be hard to be motivated. You're working 40 hours, you come home and have to do it, but it's ultimately your bills. And if you are doing this full-time, the other option is to go back and answer to a boss that doesn't care too much about you personally and would care less if he hired someone else to replace you. So that motivates me, and you just gotta do it. You just have to do it. Unless you're rich.
May I make a comment on that?
No, I want you to. Sure.
Okay. This morning I was listening to a motivational podcast this morning by a gentleman named Rob Dial. He runs a podcast called the Motivation Mentor, something like that. And right. he was talking about a subject about discipline. And he says, discipline is not, we always look at it as a negative connotation, but if we look at it if we look at the outcome rather than the process and the steps that it takes for us to achieve our goals, mm-hmm. then it becomes a lot easier. Right. You said it yourself. If we don't get paid, then if we're focusing on the task rather than we're gonna get the reward at the end, that's then we can succeed that way. So for us, it's photography and listing those items. Those are the hardest things, and mm-hmm. then it comes the rewards. Then now we can start shipping items and earning from where we had listed and photographed. That is the right. reason why I started Death Pile Destroyers, because a lot of people do not want to do the photography. Not a lot of people want to do the listing. So I come in to help. I want to help those people. That's the reason why we have clients that are willing to pay me to photograph and list, because they don't either they don't have the time or they are overwhelmed. So we step in and help.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and one way you can maybe motivate yourself, maybe this will help increase your productivity, is maybe work out a deal with yourself where, you know what, every sale that I make, I get 5%, let's say after fees and shipping, 10%, depending on what your margin looks like and what you're selling. And just say, I'm going to put this aside in my savings account. This is my play money. So if I want, let's say, a nice vacation at the end of the year, I'm going to work a little harder because that's motivation. Hey, yeah, this is a grind right now, but it's looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's just doing little things like that. And I've seen it work. It can be really a grind, and just know that, you know what, all the efforts I'm making is going into bills, and really I don't get to see anything out of my efforts. If you maybe do something like that, small amount, maybe it only could be a couple percent, but you're going to be able to see something at the end of the day, and it's going to be worth your while. Just something to think about.
Yeah, it's the fruits of your labor.
How do you stay motivated?
Me?
Yeah.
I guess it's the same way. Like if I look at the outcome, if I look at what I'm going to receive at the end of the day, then the process is not so bad. We all get excited when we have, let's say, a cool item that we want to photograph and get up there, because I know we're going to make a lot of money. We go ahead and photograph them. But what about the boring stuff? I have to use the same type of mentality going in and photograph those with the same enthusiasm. So if I here's a great example. Out of sight, out of mind, right? So what I do is I'll set aside 50 items and everything else is not in this room. All right. If it's in this room, then I get overwhelmed. But if I only have is 50 items in a bin, this is the stuff I got to photograph, and that's it. That's it. And once I see the bin getting, a quarter done, halfway done, and then now I have 3/4 away done. Oh, I'm close. It's almost like a game where I'm leveling up. I'm almost at the finish line. So that's a good way to do it too. If you overwhelm your room with so much stuff, that demotivates you. So get it all out of the way, and only keep what you're going to work on in front of you.
Right. And you get to the end point, and you're like, I got time to list more. You're kind of in the mood. You're like, I'm in a zone, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, motivation is probably one of the toughest things in this business. But then again, a lot of us are doing this because we don't want to work for someone else, and that's even less motivating.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here. We're talking about categories. Going back to categories, McPuffin Muffin says, I search categories myself. Sometimes I'm not looking for a specific item. Say I'm interested in getting some comics in an auction. I go to the category and filter ending soonest. Okay, so we're dealing with maybe someone just wants to collect sports memorabilia, and they want the coolest looking shirt or hat. And I know a lot of people who don't really follow a certain team, but they just like the way a certain hat looks, and they'll buy it, or a certain shirt looks, and they'll wear it. Eric, ETC host, this ain't that kind of channel. Sorry. Depends if you want to scale by volume or ASP. I don't know what ASP is, average sale price. Okay. And someone wants to know, Dan Frisco wants to know, is anyone going to run a July 4th sale? Sales are so bad right now. I'm not sure running a sale would help much. Yeah, I mean, it's really funny. I think I'm running a sale. I've been running a sale for a couple weeks, but this last weekend was for me pretty dead. I mean, I made some sales, but it wasn't anywhere near what I'm normally used to. But like out of the blue, I think it was Monday night, yesterday, and today, it's just like sales are like back to normal for me. And I looked at, and you really can't look at your sales so much to determine if the traffic's there. But I go to my traffic report in my seller hub, and I've had 2 of the best traffic days, impressions and page views, than I've had in a month. So, I would think sales would still help. People are still out there looking at eBay. They might be at the beach on their smartphone, looking to buy something they need next week. What do you think?
Would you say that Amazon Prime helps or hurts eBay sales?
I think it helps in the sense that you get more people online. Let's see what Amazon has for, this category. Well, while I'm at it, since they don't have anything I like that's on sale, let me see what eBay has. I think it gets people in the mindset to shop. Like yesterday, my wife's over at my daughter's house in California, and they're online like for hours on Amazon, trying to find deals. And if you're looking for something specific, you're not just going to stop at Amazon, and Amazon doesn't have what you're looking for.
Good point. I felt that I felt that sales dropped on Amazon Prime Day, but once it ended, a lot of the sales started coming through. I think maybe a lot of the people were looking at our items and left them in their shopping cart, and they noticed that eBay didn't have it, and then Amazon didn't have that item. They went ahead and purchased it on eBay. That's my assumption. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
So, if you look at the fact that Amazon, they say, is 10 times the traffic that eBay does. And so if you take 20% of those people and they say, you know what, while I'm online and while I'm looking for this, let me look at eBay, I think that's just going to add to the traffic. And that may be why. Because if you look at your traffic, I'm curious, anyone out there, take a look at your seller hub. Take a look at your traffic over the last 2 days, and tell me if it hasn't gone up, because I'm willing to bet that the whole Amazon Prime Day has a little bit to do with that. I'm wondering, why am I getting so many sales? That could definitely have been it. I had a lot of offers to watchers I put out this morning, and it's pretty awesome. I think I had 14 items yesterday, and for a Tuesday, that's pretty good for me.
So Prime Day was on the 21st and 22nd.
Yeah.
According to Resale America's site, it didn't change much throughout the weekend. So,
well, below, whether you're watching it live or in the comments for the replay, post it below. Let me know if the 21st and 22nd on your. We're not looking at sales so much. We're looking just at your traffic, so your impressions and your page views. Let me know if you have an increase, because I do, and I don't sell any just one niche. I sell all kinds of stuff. Ed the Reselling Writer, all you need is some good music and one of John's videos in the background, a good drink, no distraction, and you'll have motivation to list. Can't make money if it's not listed. Well, that's right. Awesome. I like to think your music is probably a little bit nicer to hear than my voice, but nonetheless. And of course, you don't want me singing any of your songs. I know, Esteban, you sing pretty well. I heard you in the liquidation motivation video. You're singing
with the karaoke.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Dan Frisco says, if you're not buying inventory, you're not selling it, you're not making money, you're spending it, and you've become a hoarder. So I think that's we have Ida Hat. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate your support. I won my first auction on liquidation.com. Thanks for your advice. Oh, awesome. So put down in the comments what type of items you bought. I've been really picky lately with them. I haven't really bought a lot. I have a lot of stuff in my garage though, and you have to get through the stuff. I mean, to add to what Dan said, if you're not buying inventory, you're selling. You're just making money. You're just spending it. You're just going out and shopping. But if you're just buying inventory, you're just hoarding. And I can tell you, there's been many times I'm out in my garage, and it's like, wow, I have to slow down. And sometimes you can get in spurts where you're like, wow, I can really get a good deal on this, that, and the other thing, and you can get carried away. Right. And then you get, like you said, demotivated because you're just overwhelmed with, where do I start?
Mm-hmm. Let me congratulate Ida for that. I think that we as resellers, we start selling from items that we buy from the thrift stores, yard sales, and small places that way. But then we level up by buying liquidation or buying pallets. So I congratulate Ida for that.
Right. And I think the reason why I like liquidation so much is because it allows you to maximize your time. Mm-hmm. So I'm not spending hours at yard sales or thrift stores. And believe me, I started that way. I started looking at the clearance sections, doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage, going to Ross and maybe Marshall's and trying to find things that are on sale. In fact, I have a Facebook post that I had kind of laughed at a few months ago. It was like every 2-year anniversary of, here's this photo you posted, and I'm proudly in front of all my first score of stuff that I went out and spent all day sourcing, right? Yeah. And so we fired up, we got it all listed, and it's like, it's not selling, and for me, I would rather just do liquidation, find something that is going to sell or has sold. And, if you get some bad stuff in there, you get some bad stuff in there, but you're not spending hours doing it.
Absolutely.
And so when you are sourcing, how do you source currently?
I source using Resale America because he's got access to so many outlets. So Tom here at Resale America buys truckloads, and I can buy a pallet from him if I want to,
Okay. He'll give you a good deal on it, I bet.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my buddy, so I get the buddy discount sometimes.
That's awesome, man. And it's good to have a connection. I think networking is probably one of the most important things you can do in this business. Whether you're meeting someone 3,000 miles away or someone that's right down the street. How you doing, Archie? It's good to network because you never know when you need some advice, or you never know what they might know that might help you source better. You know,
Absolutely.
they might give you a tip on, hey, I go here. You know, like my friendship with Archie out here, known him for at least a few months now, but I've learned a lot, at least getting out of my comfort zone, selling locally and stuff like that, things I've shied away from over the last couple of years because of the pandemic, and just I don't want to be bothered with flaky people. And that's, but it adds another outlet to my business that I didn't really use before. You know, do you guys use Marketplace and stuff like that, or do you guys just use word of mouth to bring people in your store, or just eBay, that type of thing?
They have a Facebook page that pulls people in.
Okay.
For the store, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You know, the idea of a bin store, and I don't think that store is really a bin store, more just sort of like a liquidation type store, right?
Okay, so the way it looks like it's a Macy's. So it looks like Macy's, except
Right.
for the center floor has pallets there.
Okay.
So it has
two levels.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm in the center.
Oh, the center of the store itself. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
So, speaking of networking, I wanted to talk about that. I think that networking is huge when it comes to leveling up, when it comes to not just sourcing, but just personally, like mentally. You need a team around you, and you need not only people that you want to lift up, but you need to surround yourself with people that's willing to help you lift up.
Yes.
And Tom is definitely a guy that I look up to, because he wants to help me lift up. And if you watch any of the liquidation motivation videos, you can see the sincerity in him, that he wants to help people. He says that he wants his eBay team members, he wants them to be able to start their own businesses. He wants them to own their own eBay stores. He wants them to buy their own merchandise for their stores. And he's like, you can buy from here. Just start. He sincerely wants to help. And when you surround yourself with people like that, it levels you up and gives you a better mentality. I know the other day we were talking about Amazon private label business, and he's done it in the past. And I was telling him, oh, we should do it this way and we should do it that way. I think it would be great like that. And he was like, nah, we should do it this way. And I was like, oh, you're right. I'm putting on my eBay hat rather than your hat. I'm not putting on a different type of mindset. And so it helps me. It helps me think differently, and I truly appreciate that.
Yeah. And I was thinking the other day that this business that we're in, if you just sell only on eBay, you don't have a brick and mortar store, you just sell on eBay, and you don't know anyone else in the business, it could be a lonely game. Again, if you're used to working in the workforce, we have other people you have to deal with and interact with to do your job, and now you're here in just a room by yourself. That's demotivating right there. And when you meet other people, when you reach out and you meet other people, and you maybe, I'm dealing with this issue and, I really don't want to deal with it because I'm not sure how to deal with it. Reaching out to someone and just kind of brainstorming it with someone else in the business, or having that contact to reach out to, it makes the job so much more rewarding, I think, to have that somebody you can reach out to and motivate each other. I think if you have somebody that just reaches out to you and says, hey man, I just listed 20 items today. And that kind of gives you some motivation, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. I do have it around me, and I try to surround myself with more and more people all the time. Like I have Jeff from eBay Addicts, who's local, and I'm getting to know him a little bit more. But I also have other friends that I met through other friends. I have a friend named Tommy and Glacy. They're a couple who has their own eBay store, and they have like 8,000 items listed, and it's just the two of them. And it's like, how the heck did you do that? And it's like they're making the good numbers, and they're selling the same things that I am. And I'm like, how are you selling more than I am? Well, what are you doing differently? What are you not doing that we're doing? So
That's right.
we compare notes, and then we start leveling up that way too. So
Well,
shout
let me
out
ask
to
you.
Tommy and Glacy.
You had Rally Roots out there about a week ago, right?
They never showed up. Yeah.
So they pulled a Facebook marketplace offer up buyer role.
Yeah. But I mean, I have met them in the past.
Okay.
I have met them. I met Casey the Rockstar Flip Pro a couple of times.
Right.
They're all in this area. So I got to, when it comes to meetups, or when it comes to, like, if I need to reach out to them for a little bit, I can shoot them out an email or give them a phone call. I do have their numbers, so it's nice to at least be able to communicate with them every once in a great while.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see what we have in the chat here. We have JR's Vintage Cards and more. I do work full time currently on medical leave. I did have ankle surgery on the 2nd. Almost ready to donate it all to Goodwill just to restart and not dig myself a hole that he has to climb out of. Well, yeah, it's tough. I have 17 boxes of clothing we took off Poshmark. We just don't want to be bothered playing the share game all day. We have too much to do than to have to go through. You have to share your closet, have to be active and all that stuff. So it can seem like a hole that you're working out of, but sell a few a day, list a few a day, and just watch that pile. It's all about death piles, right? Watch that
Absolutely.
death pile. Let's see. Dan Frisco says already sent 20 offers and have listed around 20 new items and updated around 20 items in crickets. And it may end up being that way today. Now you had the last couple of days were Amazon Prime days, and now that all that Amazon traffic is just not there, it might seem like it's going to kind of go back to the way it's been. Have you had the summer slowdown? Like I know I've experienced the last 3 weeks is sort of when it started for me. What about you?
Not necessarily. I feel like it's steady, and in truth, when it comes to my category, the used clothing category, I feel like it's steady year round. It's not a significant amount of numbers that I'm walking away with in the summer or even in fourth quarter. It does matter how many items I have listed. So I would say to Dan, look at how many items you have, and see what type of what categories you're in, and look at the sell-through rates on the categories that you're in, and see if that's the reason why for the crickets.
There you go. There's always if it's sold before, there's got to be a reason why yours isn't selling. Now, if you have a one-off item, maybe no one's looking for it, and I doubt that's what you're selling, Dan. You're probably selling something that's already sold before. It's the time of year too. I just really think that, and I've said this on videos before, you have your need items and you have your want items. And I think with this time of year, I think people are more focused on their needs. They're out playing in the sun, and I need some sunscreen, so they'll go online and get it. They're not thinking about, oh, this shirt would be nice to have. That's just kind of in my mind, and that's why I'm focused right now on trying to get more need items out there versus the wants and stuff. Bless you.
He says bless you.
Oh, thank you.
So let's see. We have Ed says it's just how business is. Sometimes you get great sales and nothing being uploaded, and sometimes you get nothing with a lot being listed. Also has to be desirable items. So yeah, a lot of those things. And you might be doing a lot of that already, and it could be your title, could be your photos. It just could be a lot of different factors that you're not even aware of. Let's see. JR's Vintage Cards is, I think it's what I've done. I've overwhelmed myself. Never looked at it like just work a whole lot of time. He's going to try that. I think he's going to try your method of just putting out the items they plan on listing, and get everything else out of the way, out of sight. Heidi, Hot Flop Heidi says, I've never looked at traffic. Yeah, always look at your traffic, because
let's show Heidi how to do that though. The way to do that is by going to your seller hub, go to performance, and then click on traffic, and then you'll see your traffic there. The very first section is impressions, then it's page views, and then it's quantity sold. Impressions is how many times your item shows up on their search rankings. The next one is page views, is when they actually click on it. And then quantity sold, it's when you make money.
Right. So when those numbers get higher, but your sales aren't really doing anything, if that's not going up as well, then there's something wrong with the listing. That's what story it tells me. Now, if my impressions are low, my page views are low, and my sales are low, it tells me, well, there might be a couple problems here. Maybe there's just not a lot of people searching for my item, or it may be there's a problem where my item is not really showing up in search. And maybe there's a problem with my account. Maybe there's a lot of things, and you have to start digging a little deeper on the account side of things more than the listing side. What do you think?
I think you're right. I'm with you on this.
What are some strategies that you use to kind of help your sales? Do you have any strategies that you utilize?
Yeah, so right now we're looking at Tom's items, and we're looking to see if it's worth relisting. So we'll look at the listings itself to see if there's any item specifics missing, or if the titles could be better. And I've seen a couple of things that didn't really appeal to me. And also the pictures. The pictures should always be the number one thing that pops. I'm really good at pictures, even though I don't like taking pictures, but whatever. I'm really good at it. And I would say that when you're taking a picture of the gallery shot, that's the most important shot that you take. So you want
to shot that's up on the listing that everyone sees before they click on it.
That's correct, because they won't click on it if it looks unappealing. So you want to look at the feature of the item, and you want to hone in and zoom into that feature. Not if it's a button. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if, for example, if it's this hat, you want to like get really close up to that hat and take the shot like this, and you want to use the background removal tools, and so this way you can have the white background.
Right.
There's several ways to do that. You can find many ways to do it. You use what is it? Photo Room? Is that correct?
Yeah, Photo Room.
Photo Room.
And the reason I use it is because I can go out, and I like to do things in like batches. So let's say I have those 50 items. So I'm going to go out, test all 50, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to photo all 50, and I'll have them all on my phone. And then I'll go into Photo Room. I'll select all the photos I took, maybe about 200 or 300 photos, because I'm dealing with 50 items, let's say, and I'll hit enter, and you're just tapping through each one. It basically shows you each one after the background's removed, and you're just approving each one. And it literally takes you like 5, maybe 10 minutes to do that many. And it's done, and then I just upload it to my computer. Or if I'm not really wanting to mess with my computer, I want to use the app, they're ready to go. I can just use the app and list them. It's ready to go.
That's a great idea. I like that.
Just trying to save time. Just trying to save time is what it's all about. Let's see. Now, one question I have for you is, when you guys are going through your liquidation merchandise that you've sourced, right? You get like these truckloads that come in. When you determine, okay, this is something we'll put on eBay, this is something we'll put out on the floor, right? What do you do with the stuff that's not so desirable? Like, for instance, I come across an item in these pallets, and it says it sells for like $8 free shipping. I'm not trying to spend time to spend $4 on shipping and eBay fees and make $2 when it's done. So what do you do with those items that are they're still fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not trash items, but they're not really worth your time listing on the eBay store. What do you guys do with those?
So the least desirable items. So we could do a few things. One, we could redonate them, of course. Here in Florida, there's a lot of Haitians that come to Florida just to buy items, and then they'll buy pallets full, and they'll load them onto a shipping container, and then they'll ship them back to Haiti. Okay. So we have one connection. We would love a few more connections, but I have a connection like that would find that type of item useful in that country. Okay, that's one. The other thing we could do is we can lock them up and sell them. We could sell them to as a wholesale. We can sell them wholesale to other people that would find it more appealing to them. So, for example, if it were me, let's say that I had a flea market.
Right.
If I were to buy these items at pennies, and I can sell them for $1 at the
Right.
flea market, then it's more appealing to me, depending on what kind of seller I am, right?
Right.
So we don't know who we're selling to, or we should learn who we could sell our items to. So we have a few connections on what to sell what to. And that was my number one lesson that I learned from Tom here from Liquidation Motivation Resale America was when you buy pallets, you should know where each item sells best on. You heard that?
Yeah, that's the sound we want to hear on live streams.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we should know where we should sell our items. So we'll get those pallets. We will sort through them and say, okay, should be eBay. This should be Facebook Marketplace. This should be Poshmark. This should be the brick and mortar store. This should be the bin store, and this should be whatever. You should have a buyer. All right. Let me put it this way. When you watch the American Pickers on TV, right? They already know who this will appeal to. They already have the client list in their head. We need that too. We need that for the items that we buy.
Right. And having a large platform like your own large brick and mortar store in a mall doesn't hurt anything either. I mean, people walk in your store all the time that says, hey, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. And when you get X, Y, and Z, you call them up and you don't have to even bother with it. You have a buyer for it.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Well, you also have to remember, John, that I have nothing to do with Resale America. I just helped them with the eBay store, but they do give me all their stuff, and I have to decide where it goes. So you're right.
No, but if you're out there and you got an earshot of the conversation or whatever, and you're like, I have a lot of that. Here I got someone to sell it to. Networking is probably the number one thing you can do, not only to help your motivation, but to give you new avenues in this business. Just my friendship with Archie, for instance, I got stuck with a bunch of these speakers and these big ion speakers, and they'd still be in my garage if I didn't know Archie. So, that's just a smaller example, but being able to know people that can take stuff off your hands, whereas you normally would maybe sometimes either donate them or throw them in the trash. So, let's see, we have a few more minutes here. I want to try to keep this to an hour if we can. Let's kind of go down here. We have Lester James in the house. What's going on, everyone? We have 28 people right now watching. Adrian Guerra says, what's y'all's view strategy on promoting listings? Seems guessing game is whether it's effective at a higher percentage, but seems to be needed at least on low end to get a multi-quantity listing. Well, I can tell you that I set most of my items at 1%. I will look to see if I'm maybe a one-off item, then there's no need to even bother with that. And then if I have a item that's in a heavy competition, I will maybe set it just right at the recommended. What do you do?
So in order for us to keep track of promoted listings after the fact, when it comes to accounting purposes, we keep it all across the board. So in the beginning, when promoted listings started, I listed everything at 11%. Why? Because I assumed that all resellers was going to list them at 10%, and it would give me an edge if I put it at 11%. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. But then I realized that a lot of the resellers were listing at 1%. So I was like, okay, let me. And then there was Rally Roots that they put it at 5%. And I said, that sounds more reasonable. I'll just put it at 5% across the board, and I'm going to do that on every single thing. I do that because I can keep track of my numbers easily. If I'm dealing with thousands of items, then that would be the easiest way to do that. And yes, we get reports. When at the end of the week, I print out my report and it'll show me which ones sold on. It shows me which ones sold as a promoted listing, but it doesn't tell me how much. So that doesn't help me when it doesn't tell me how much. So that's the reason why I put it across the board 5%.
Okay.
And the only reason why I use it is to give me an edge by lifting those items up on the search rankings.
Right.
But I also set a perma sale for all the items. A perma sale is when you just set a sale for the entire month. All right, everybody wants to call me now.
So Adrian Harris, I just added 1% on all my listings. 900 plus 4 days ago after going 2 months without promoting. Not much charge for me. I did notice not promoting actually gave me more sales.
I am so sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's okay. So that's sort of how Dan handles it. He adds the 1% to all of his listings, and
1%.
Yeah, and he's going without promoting. Not a change though. Hard to say, because if we're just doing it right now where there's really not a lot of traffic, it doesn't matter what you're doing with your listings. The traffic, if for your item just isn't there, it's going to be really tough, no matter 1% or 5% or no percent.
Yeah.
Let's take a look and see. We're going to be wrapping this up here in a second. Here, we got McPuffin Muffin. What are your thoughts on putting an extra effort in trying to maintain repeat customers? Is it worth it, or is it about moving on to the next potential buyer? Well, real quick for me, I noticed that I don't get a lot of the same customers. One thing we can do to try to keep or make someone maybe think about you before they look at the rest of eBay when they're shopping the next time is include a little slip with your sale, and use that coupon feature. Create your coupon. Yes. Maybe it's a 10% or 15% coupon, and say, thank you for your purchase. I'm going to invite you. I'm going to invite you to buy with the next sale that you come on and buy. What is that? Okay. Thank you for your purchase, and he has his promotion code. So you go on and create. And if you want to know how to do this, go check out the video I made last week. It's telling you exactly step by step on how you make these coupons, and then go and have. Is this something you had done like at Kinko's and had it made up for you? These little cards, or you just print them out?
Dymo label.
Dymo, huh? There you go.
Yeah. You could just use it with your own regular printer, your thermal printer. And what we do is we stick this right on the packaging on the front of it. And the reason why we put it on the front
of it, on the outside. Okay.
Yeah, you know why? Because I don't care who buys in my store. I want as many people to put their eyes on this and say, well, what's an Estacam?
Even your postal carrier, huh?
That's correct. So let my postal carrier visit my website and my awesome. eBay store.
So that's a tip, guys. That'll maybe bring in, if it brings in a handful of people, it's a handful of people you never had before, or maybe they're going on and searching. Because see, here's the thing: if you provide a good customer experience to people, the next time they jump onto eBay, they're going to look for that seller. If they have an idea, they're going to forget. Don't know who I bought this from, but if they have that little slip on the package, maybe they're like, you know what? I'm going to search this guy out here because they got back to me quick, they shipped it to me quick, and that's what they want. That's why Amazon's so successful, is because Amazon has a strict guideline that they hold people to, whereas eBay, not so much. There's some pretty bad sellers out there, and the goal here is for you guys not to be one of those sellers. But the fact that you're tuning into these live streams right here is proof that you care enough where you're not going to be that person. So take that advice. I think that was probably one of the best tips on this video, is what you just showed there, to try to retain people. And then again, if saving money is not important to that person, they won't do business with you again. But there's a lot of people who will put that aside, and they'll come back and look for you. What do you think? How's it working for you?
I'm going to say that not a lot of people use it. However, it's the only way that we can receive repeat customers. It's the only way. How else? Unless we created our own mailing list, but we can't do that anymore because we don't have we don't have their email addresses.
Right.
They stopped providing that to us.
Right.
So this is the only way that we can retain customers.
That sounds good. And again, even if it's a handful of sales, every quarter, it's a handful of sales more than you had before. So it's maybe worth buying that roll of labels to print up. I think that looks pretty darn sharp. I like that. It's pretty good.
Thank you. The other thing that we could do is sending, if we wanted to go above and beyond, we could send out a quick message to the buyer with something very positive and something memorable for the buyer to understand that we did appreciate their business, and that might retain them. Actually, I do have one more tip. Yeah. Here's what I do. On the feedback, I say, thank you for your purchase. Please click the heart button to save my store as one of your favorites. This way, they will always have the link to my store. So that's another thing that I do. Okay,
awesome. Well, I just want to wrap it up here. It's we're an hour in. We have 30 people watching the show. Want to thank you for your time. For those of you out there watching this live or watching the replay, go check out Death Pile Destroyers on YouTube. It's not deathpiledestroyers.com. It's just Death Pile Destroyers on YouTube, correct?
I like people visiting my website.
Right.
But yes, it's Death Pile Destroyers on YouTube.
Yeah, check out. He just started his channel not too long ago, and go check out his content. If you want to see bonus content of us having this conversation or a similar conversation that we had this last week, go check out his channel. We did about a 45-minute to 1 hour live stream there, and there's a lot of good information that we shared. I definitely want to do this again sometime in the future. Hey, we want to bring in and collaborate. I like to change up these live streams so it's just not my mug everyone's looking at. And again, guys, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. I don't see how many likes we have because I use StreamYard. It doesn't really show us how many likes we have so far. But please hit that like button. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And that way, you help me build the channel and get the word out to other people as well. Because I think this is just like some of the information we covered in this live stream is information that I think a lot of people would want to know about. So do you have anything before we sign off to tell everyone?
I would also recommend everyone to watch Liquidation Motivation because Tom is there to help. I think it's a great channel. He's a lot more consistent. He hired a personal photographer to film every single day, so he's dishing out a lot of content, and we could definitely learn from that channel as well.
Yeah, it's a good channel, Liquidation Motivation. Someone here, one of the viewers in my channel, actually put a comment in one of my videos, and I'm like, oh, I'll check it out. And I'm like, wow, I really, really like the content that they put out. It's very, very helpful. And the only thing that I can think of as far as maybe advice is they put out so much content. It's almost more than I think they put out like 2 or 3 videos a day, don't they?
They're starting to do a lot more. Yes.
Yeah. And so I wonder if that, because some YouTube executive one time mentioned on a video not too long ago that the sweet spot is 1 video a day.
Yeah. Okay.
You give your audience a chance to absorb that video to get the so just something to put out there. But I wish you nothing but the best. Please stay in touch. Stay on after we're done. We can chat for a second. But everyone out there, I want you to have a great rest of your week. No matter how slow it is, and it is slow right now, but just do what you can to improve your listings, get more items listed, keep focusing and spending that time in your account. And, we'll get through this. It's just part of the summer slowdown that almost always happens. Didn't happen last year, but in previous years, it's just the norm. So just one more piece of proof and evidence that flipping ain't easy. And we're going to talk to you guys here very soon. Take it easy. Take it easy, everyone.